That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, I really like Daredevil Born Again. I don't think it was as good as the Netflix seasons of it, but I thought it was really quite good. And I got a lot of people mad at me when I suggested I didn't think I thought the ratings for it would be solid, like really good, but people got kind of mad at me when I suggested on the show that it wasn't going to be skyrocket high because the old Netflix series was a while ago. It was never the highest rated thing on Netflix, all that kind of stuff. You did have them pop up in Superman. Well, I thought it'd be higher than this. The numbers are now in, and Daredevil Born Again has set an unfortunate record for Marvel streaming shows on Disney Plus. It's become the first series they've ever done that never once got on the Nielsen streaming charts. Every other show they've done has. They write this over at Comic Book Movie. Daredevil Born Again has become the first live-action Marvel Studios series, because a couple of the animated ones didn't, to not make Nielsen's top 10 original streaming shows list. The only other Marvel streaming titles to fail to find their way onto the list were animated: What If, Seasons 1 and 3, I Am Groot, and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Born Again is also the second live-action MCU Disney Plus show not to make Nielsen's overall top 10 list after Secret Invasion. That means
I can't believe Secret Invasion. Oh,
Agatha All Along, which it's unfair to Agatha All Along actually did very well. But Agatha All Along did better. Ms. Marvel did better. At least Ms. Marvel charted. All the other ones that they've done have done so. So the question kind of becomes, why did Daredevil become the first Marvel show not to chart on the top 10 streaming shows? Out of all the ones they've done, why couldn't Daredevil? I have a couple of theories. Theory number one, and this was one of the arguments that we were making even prior to the show coming out. It's R-rated. It's violent. It's not your typical Disney stuff. Now, Disney has more and more. They were at one time, no, our brand is always family friendly. Well, they've loosened on that. I mean, $1.3 billion Deadpool movie will do that. And so they've kind of embraced the harder core stuff. They've embraced the R rating. Now, I suspect whenever we do get a Blade movie, if we ever do, it'll probably be rated R too. Mm-hmm. But that is going to exclude some viewers from watching the show. Secondly, it's been a long time since Daredevil was on the air, man. Now, granted, he popped up in a quick cameo in Spider-Man, and we saw him in She-Hulk, and I really did like his appearance in She-Hulk. Terrible show, but I loved his appearance in it. But it's been a while, and that was Netflix. And not everybody watched the Netflix series. So I actually had one of our viewers write in this morning into the live chat before the show started saying, I never saw the Netflix show, and I kind of feel like I would be lost right away. Now, I'm not saying that's true, but maybe they would have been completely lost going into it. So I don't know. I guess there's a couple of reasons, I suppose. I also don't think it can be discounted, the fact that this happened in a time when the rep of the MCU is not as high as it used to be, although they've had a couple of big wins recently with both Thunderbolts and with Deadpool and all that kind of stuff. But guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Ridge. Hey guys, listen, I love this thing. This is my Ridge wallet, and honestly, I think it's the last wallet I'll probably ever need. I used to carry around this huge, bulky leather beast stuffed with receipts, old cards, and frankly, way too much junk. It messed up my back when I would sit down on it with my back pocket, and since switching to Ridge, game changer. This thing is sleek, compact, holds up to 12 cards plus cash, and it still fits perfectly in my front pocket. I've got the carbon fiber one. It's ridiculously durable and looks amazing. You can choose from over 50 different colors and styles too. And in today's world, this part is key. It's got RFID blocking tech built in so you can keep your info safe from digital thieves. Peace of mind and style? Absolutely. Another added bonus is if you're like me and constantly misplacing your stuff, they even have an AirTag attachment so you can always know where your wallet is. And to make this even better, Ridge gives you free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all of their products, wallets, key cases, even suitcases. Right now, Ridge is having their huge Memorial Day sale. Get up to 40% off at ridge.com/Campea. That's ridge.com/Campea. And after you buy, tell them our show sent you because it helps a lot. I don't know, Rob, are you surprised to hear that Daredevil Born Again, which was one that a lot of fans seem to be the most excited about. Ended up being the first show they've ever done not to chart on the top 10 on the Nielsen ratings. And why?
No, I'll tell you. My theory is similar to yours. I think people thought that they would get around to it. Unless you were a total diehard Daredevil fan, in a way, this seemed like, it's not fair for me to say this, but for general viewership, kind of like warmed over milk. That's too mean, but because I liked the show quite a bit.
I did too.
But it wasn't something that we'd seen 3 great seasons before. We'd already been through. I think the excitement was sort of diminished, except amongst the faithful.
Right.
Like, I don't think a lot of new viewers, if you weren't already a Daredevil fan, you kind of felt like, well, I didn't watch Daredevil, so I'm not going to tune in. And what it had was it had some of its original built-in audience, but I don't think it gained a new audience. Whereas like Agatha All Along, you tune in and go, what the hell's this? If you have any cursory interest in Marvel, and you've got the female audience that you wouldn't normally get. Same with Miss Marvel, that picked up a female audience contingent that you didn't normally get. People tuned in because they didn't know what that was. It was like, what's that going to be like? I have no idea. It's new. Whereas Daredevil was like a used car.
And some people, like the person who wrote in, might have thought, I didn't watch the original, so I'm going to be lost if I watch
Right, exactly. I think there was that too. I think there was, but I will say this: I am willing to bet that during the interim before we get Daredevil season 2.5, what do you call it? I guess season 5.
Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Yes, okay.
Yes, Daredevil Born Again.
Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Again.
I would imagine, like all shows of quality, people will finally catch up to it, and they'll watch it and go, "Oh, it's pretty good," and then they'll go back and watch the original Disney series. So in the interim, I'll bet you the audience increases, and when we see season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, the audience will be larger.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Now they're clearly not going to cancel season 2. They're already shooting it. Like the checks have been written. They're shooting that show as we speak. I mean, Jessica Jones. We just had the first shot of her on set with Matt, right? But I was going to ask, how do you think this translates going into the next season? Do you think this first season was strong enough that it will A, maintain the audience that did watch, and B, have positive word of mouth go out to get more people to catch up and then watch the second season?
I think exactly B. I think that's exactly what will happen. I think that happens with a lot of, people forget that sometimes shows come out of the gate guns blazing and they have a huge audience. But sometimes it takes a while for word of mouth to sort of permeate the culture, and so people come to it later. Like I remember Game of Thrones was, when it first started, I was like, I'd even read the first book. But then, after hearing everyone love it, you have to watch it. I remember the biggest egregious example in my mind was X-Files. When X-Files started, it should have been a show that immediately appealed to my sensibilities. I can't believe X-Files is 32 years old now, but I didn't. Wow. I think I started watching it at the end of the first season when the Erlenmeyer Flask was going to air, which is the final episode, and I was like, "Where the hell have I been on this show?" And it took me a while. And I'm predisposed to liking X-Files, but I didn't even get around to it until the first season was almost over. So I think the audience will increase.
So here's a question I have then. The showrunner for Daredevil and the executive producer for Marvel in charge of, I think, I can't remember the guy's name, the guy who's in charge of all Disney Plus streaming and animation. They mentioned that we're going to get a Daredevil. We're not going to have to wait years in between seasons. We're going to get them one after the other. Do you think these numbers will make them hesitate a little bit about green lighting and rolling into producing season 3, and they might take a little bit of a wait and see approach to see how season 2, if season 2 can rebound? Or do you think they're probably at this point committed to season 3 regardless?
No, I think they're committed to it because they know that the season ended prematurely. They know that it ended, it kind of ended with a whimper instead of a big bang, because they knew they split the season in half, that it was going to be 18 episodes. And when people see the back half, they know their audience is going to be like, oh, this this ramped up. This got really, really good.
We're also concurrently getting the special presentation of the Punisher too, leading into
yeah,
it.
that could help too. And again, kind of like with Thunderbolts, like the Thunderbolts, which is like currently at about $360 million. It's still a big win for Marvel because people loved it. And that's going to help future Marvel. I think maybe with Daredevil, okay, it didn't chart, but the overall sentiment of the show was maybe not the best Daredevil, but it was really solid. And that could be something that they build on moving forward.
I agree. I think Thunderbolts, when they move it to Disney Plus, is going to be huge. I think a lot of people haven't tuned in, and people like that movie, and they're going to watch it over and over again. And it's going to do huge numbers on Disney Plus.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? Daredevil Born Again becomes the first live-action Marvel Disney Plus series that does not chart on that. That doesn't mean nobody watched it. It didn't chart on the Nielsen Top 10 original streaming series thing. All the other ones did. Do you think that's something to worry about? Do you think like Rob believes that, no, this was strong enough, it'll build momentum, season 2 will do better? Do you think it won't? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.